पदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी इति नामिने नमः। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Madan Mohan, Radhe, Radha Madan Mohan. Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra, Jaya Jagannath. Nitai Gauranga, Jaya Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Jaya Nitai Gauranga. पावन हरिनाम संकीर्तन की Srila Prabhupada ki, Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki, Kaliyuga Pavana Harinama Sankirtan ki, Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvidamscha Namavam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Maya Narasimha Prabhu, you sent to everybody? And they have already worked on the exercises. They have come ready. So they will answer the questions when we ask now. Huh? Yeah. Because if you do the activities here, then the time is not sufficient. Therefore, last time I remember we already did few pages. What was the page number I had given you activity? Vasudev and the Dhritarashtra and all we were doing? 6, I think, huh? Dhritarashtra Narada, I remember this. Then page number 6, huh? 6 ending. Okay. Okay, correct. So, I'll say a few words and then we proceed to this. What was that? 10.38 Akrura, I think, correct, no? 10.30.1 to 24. We finished that one? Little back? This one? That is 5 ending. We finished this. Compare Draupadi Ashwatthama, correct, no? That we finished? Yudhishthira's attitude, Dhritarashtra, that we completed. Correct. I think this we haven't done, I think. We started, okay. So, the purpose of the Servant Leaders Training Education Program is to prepare all our devotees who are in leading positions as teachers or mentors or Bhatrusha leaders, that we all come together and develop maturity based on the practical application of the Shastras like Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam and Sisi. Recently, I saw one letter had come from one authority and his right hand man. Two people. It was almost like 8-10 pages. Authority has written a letter in one color and then subordinate has inserted his one para in between. And it is back and forth, they are giving explanation. And they also said it's urgent, they want a reply from me. Almost 10 pages, 8-10 pages. So I went through that. Then I wrote to authority that please never make a decision autonomously without involving the subordinate in the decision-making process. I wrote to him. Then I told the subordinate, have some respect for your authority. He is a mature man. Many years he has spent in the movement. Sometimes if he makes autonomous decision, you can bear with him. Just as you want freedom sometimes to make decisions without consulting your subordinate sometimes. The same manner, authority occasionally makes some decision. You can express it politely rather than fight tooth and nail for it. Back and forth. So, after the dialogue, I understood one thing, that people go on an ego trip where they hurt one another. I'm not talking about new devotees. I'm talking about mature, the grown-up devotees who have spent time in the movement for many years, even 10 years, 15 years also. When they also hurt one another, because both the parties think that I know best. I know best. In one previous session, many months ago, we said, God knows best. But what these people think? I know best. That means what is the equivalent now? So I am God. That's all. So don't think such a thing cannot happen to us. It happened to Indra. Indra became afflicted by false pride. So he could not properly, behave. In the Govardhan Leela, we see that he became erratic in his behavior. Brahma became erratic in his behavior also once. If Muhyanti Atsureha, if great demigods can become bewildered, what to speak of tiny creatures like us? We are all budding devotees. So, many times your organization is stunted in its expansion due to the members of the organization cancelling each other's energies. Like the example I gave you. Yeah. So, Prem Kisan Prabhu, hear this, please. Yeah, hear this, please. Somebody can give summary for the devotees who joined just now. Till now, what I have said now. Who can give summary? There's a mic available. Yeah. Anybody can give a summary. I was telling what the purpose of the slate meet. Yeah.
I don't remember.
Okay.
I don't remember the beginning one what you said, Bhoji.
Okay.
But you said that this purpose of this particular forum is so that we come to know how to perform our service in right consciousness as an authority or a subordinate, and we don't fight tooth and nail for our little differences, but we learn to express properly whatever our feelings are regarding a particular decision being made.
Correct.
Like that.
Nah, that's true. And I was telling about one one letter which came to me, a 10-page letter from some temple, where the authority and subordinate are like, they're like senior people, senior and then his right-hand man. Two people wrote a 10-page letter in two colors. One is one color and another color. Another color is a subordinate saying something. And then, so whatever dialogues they had, they have put it in writing and sent me and asking, am I right or he is right? So I was telling about that the whole tussle came. What solution I gave? Anybody remembers? Yes, there is one of our
Hare Krishna. So you mentioned that for the authority, you said never make decision without involving the subordinates, without taking their consent. And for the subordinates, you mentioned once in a while, if the authority makes the spontaneous decision, you should accept and then tolerate.
Yeah, correct.
Because we have that tendency to sometimes make independent decision, just like you feel you love to do, the independent decision.
Correct. He captured it very well. His photographic memory. So, in this way, Srimad Bhagavatam is practically very relevant to our lives. Please read that, one of you. In fact, is it small or should I make it big?
It's okay, bro. In fact, until we take how we see ourselves and how we see others into account, we will be unable to understand how others see and feel about themselves and their world. Unaware, we will project our intentions on their behavior and call ourselves objective. This significantly limits our personal potential and our ability to relate to others as well.
Yeah. What is the meaning of this? How we see ourselves, we should see that I am one of the servants of, my spiritual master, and I am one of the members of ISKCON society. And others are also members of ISKCON society. So, therefore, we all are working together for the pleasure of Prabhupada. And even if I am given, for example, Yudhishthira Maharaj was given the kingship of the entire world. How did he rule? Shaunaka Rishi is asked. So Sutta Goswami says that actually Yudhishthira Maharaj had such an opulence. It's called as, Suraspriha, it is said. Sura means demigods. Spriha means even they aspired for the opulence which was possessed by Yudhishthira Maharaj. But what was his consciousness? It is said that he always was, absorbed in Lord Mukunda. It is said Mukunda Smarana. He was, his consciousness was focused on Lord Mukunda, and the whole world was aspiring for the opulences that he had. So he was not thinking how many people are at my beck and call, how much wealth I have, how much privileges I have, how much control I can have. He didn't see that. He was seeing at Lord's lotus feet, he says. So, in the same manner, in the Bhagavatam characters, we learn that the right attitude of a leader is taught thoroughly in the Srimad Bhagavatam. So he says, if we can also always see that is my attitude right, and other fellow members, I treat them as servants of Krishna. We all are, like for example, in the modern times, man thinks he is very important. So he's eating goats and chicken and cows and everything, because he doesn't see them as children of God. I'm talking about gross materialists. Now we may say, oh, I'm not so bad. I'm not eating goats and chicken and cows. I see everybody is Aham Bija Pradapita is Krishna. And Vasudha Eva Kutumbakam. We are all one family. But then in the family of devotees, the community where we live, how we see each other? What do we feel for each other? So there is always a power fight. Even in religious communities also. What is the power competition? Who listens to whom? And who takes whom seriously? And who made the final decision? Whether I made or somebody else made. And who is who? Who is more important? Who is less important? Who has how much following? So this is actually called politics, we call it. This is what Prahlad did not like. Prahlad said, everybody is a servant of God. Everybody is a child of God. So therefore, we may not eat goats and chicken and cow and all, but even while living in a devotee community, this training of the Srimad Bhagavatam is very essential for us to lighten up our consciousness and bring us to the ground level, keeping our heads between our shoulders, so that our heads don't go to the clouds. So therefore, how we see ourselves, how we see others, and then how others look at us when we do certain things. Like for example, recently, one of our leaders was making a decision for one youth center. So the first thing I told this devotee, see, you are making a decision for the youth center. Did you consult the topmost man in that center? So he said, Prabhuji, he hardly comes. The last 1.5 years, he never visited the center. This one Grihastha devotee there. He never visits, he said. He has no time. So I don't think he's involved. Therefore, I am directly talking to the people in the center and I am deciding. I said, it's a big blunder, I said. Now I'll prove to you, although physically he is not coming, nevertheless he is involved. I know it very well because he discusses with me sometimes. So then we put a call on speaker. Then this fellow understood how much that person is involved in that project. He doesn't go physically, but he's very serious about what movements he will make in that center. He says, oh, so you guys want to do this? I will think and tell you. I'll discuss with my people and I'll tell you. Then this fellow understood, oh, he's still involved there. So without involving him, just because he's not coming there, you directly interfere, you create problem. You understand? No? So therefore, we should also know what others are thinking of us. Some of us may go to do some welfare for somebody with a good intention. But the other person should be equally convinced that you are coming to do some welfare for him. Correct? See, doctor is bringing injection close to you. Can a child understand he is going to do good for me? What will the child think? My Lord is bringing some needle. What is he going to do with me? But if the mother assures, better don't worry, he'll give you injection, just close your eyes. Chant Hare Krishna. It's just one pinch, like a biting of an ant. But your fever will be gone. If mother gives assurance, then the child will accept the injection. Why? Because mother is a trustworthy person. Similarly, in this world, every devotee finds shelter in somebody. Without their consent, if we make a decision for the subordinate, that can cause havoc. Because neither will the subordinate trust us, nor did we give the chance for the subordinate to consult with the superior in whom they have shelter and trust. Correct? No? So, therefore, what is going on in others' minds towards us, we may not know. Actually, that is an advanced thing to know. First of all, we should know how we see ourselves and how we see others with a correct perception. So, now let us see this activity. 1.7.42 to 29 is a pastime of Draupadi, forgiving Ashwatthama. And see, compare Draupadi and Ashwatthama for their sensitivity towards others. So, what is the sensitivity? Now, you all know the pastime, even if you didn't read the section just now. So, what is the sensitivity of Draupadi versus Ashwatthama? Who would like to speak? Aswaji. Mic is here. The mic?
Draupadi was very painful
Yeah.
when her own sons got killed.
Yeah.
She could not bear it.
Yes.
So when Arjun bought the Ashwatthama and wanted to behead him,
Yeah.
she was thinking the same feeling the mother of Ashwatthama will get.
Correct.
And she couldn't tolerate this her own pain.
And
So
what
she
is-
was thinking,
Yeah.
okay, Ashwatthama's mother will also have the same
Yes.
pain.
So, what was the quality that Draupadi exhibited? What you just now said. I call what? Empathetic. Empathy means feeling what others may be feeling, standing on their shoes. So, Draupadi had that exalted quality of empathy. Sympathy is more easy than empathy. Sympathy means I feel pity for you. Because I am in a higher position, you are in a lower position. You are suffering, I say, sorry, I'll pray for you. So you are inferior. Empathy means I put myself in your position and I can exactly feel what pinch or pain you are feeling. So empathy is superior to sympathy. Yeah, that she feels. Thank you, Prabhu. Very good. So, and who can tell me about Ashwatthama sensitivity? Anybody else? Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Ashwadama killed the sleeping children, a cruel and wretched person who maintains his existence at the cost of others' lives.
Correct.
35 and 37 shloka, it describes the nature of Ashwadama.
Correct, yeah.
That's all good.
It's a very hard-hearted, selfish, self-centered person, Guru Druha, as we say. So that was Ashwatthama's mentality. And Ashwatthama was he moved by Draupadi's gesture of sparing his life? Was he moved by that and said, "Oh, mother, you spared my life. I am eternally grateful to you"? Did he say that? He didn't say that. And how do we know that Ashwatthama continued to be revengeful and merciless? How do we know? Anybody? Yes. Can you tell the mic? Give the mic to you.
Even after that also he went ahead and released Brahmastra against Parikshit.
In the 12th chapter we read in the first canto, he sent a Brahmastra to kill the posthumous child, Parikshit, in the womb of Uttara, which goes to show that Parikshit had Ashwatthama had no change of heart, even though somebody showed sympathy. So this is very surprising how a person who is revengeful, even after another good soul does good for him, still his heart doesn't change. That's because he is not a devotee of the Lord. He is opposed to the Pandavas and opposed to Krishna also. So their heart doesn't change. Now Duryodhana also received many favors from Pandavas. Like once he was saved from the Gandharvas. Correct, no? Yeah. But absolutely no change of heart. So therefore one lesson we learned from Ashwatthama, how not to maintain a hard heart. That we learned from Ashwatthama. That means our heart remains steel framed or hard and unwilling to look at others with sympathy, even after they have sought and even after they have done some favor for us or some good for us also. So that is because of envy for the devotees. Envy for the devotees, Pandavas, and envy for the Lord. So Ashwatthama shows a worst example and Draupadi shows the best example. Draupadi was empathic. Ashwatthama already killed 5 children. What is because of empathy? He didn't have sympathy also. No sympathy, no empathy. Only animosity. That's what he maintained. So, we all have two natures within us. There is a animosity, animal, there is the angel. Now, one devotee was telling me, there was another devotee with whom this devotee had a tussle. They both had a bitter exchanges. Say, let us say A and B. Now, B blasphemed A, saying that A did some blunders, mistakes against him and I am suffering and all that. And A proved to him that he is not the reason. And this happened because of some combined decision made by C, D and E. C, D, E, they decided in the meeting and that was handed over. And I am not involved in it. Now B understood it. But still A was telling, even after this clarification was done, hence proved on paper, still B went on blaspheming A in the future years also. Can any of you say why this phenomenon happens? You understood my question? See, A and B, two people. B blasphemed A. And A proved to him that I am not responsible for what you are saying. C, D, E, they decided in a meeting. And he has proven to him also. But still B is maintaining some vengeance towards A. And he kept on telling the same old thing even after clearing the matter. Keeps talking about it to many people around, even in the future years, not just once, many times. So A became very vexed. A came and told me that, Prabhu, why do people do like this? And I'm asking you, why does it happen? Like Ashwatthama did the same thing, right? A is, say, Draupadi, and B is Ashwatthama. Ashwatthama, B did a big blunder. Still A did good. But B's vengeance towards A was not gone. Still B is taking action against Pandava's last child also. That the hatred is maintaining. So why does it happen? Anybody? Yes, Prabhu, please give that.
Hare Krishna, bro. So probably he has filled his mind with the negative thoughts about him, and that's not wiped up yet. So he's still continuing to keep that, and no positivity brought in.
Yes.
So that might be the reason.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
So if a basic hatred is developed by B towards A, no matter how much good A does to B is not able to value that good and develop some appreciation. That is one reason. Because he has developed, see, the dislike turns into hatred and like turns into attachment. For example, if you're attached to somebody, even if they slap on your face, you will say, how beautifully he slapped me. You will say, if you like a person. Huh? If you hate a person, even if if that person folds the palm like this and says this, why only folding palm? He never bowed down and did Vanchakalpa for me. And you will say like, if you hate a person, that means the basic thing is what? Like or dislike. Huh? So, based on this like or dislike turning into attachment and hatred, we form perceptions about people, which we are adamantly sticking on to and refusing to change. So today, let us understand this point. Let me give up Ashwatthama mentality of making a naked pencho perception about others. That means, let me not make fossilized perception about others. What is fossilized perception? That means unchangeable, rigid, stone-like perception. That this person is like this and he cannot change. Don't make such a perception. And don't keep hatred for anybody in the heart. If somebody has been proven to be innocent, then we forgive them. Correct now. So at least that much we should learn from Ashwatthama's erratic behavior. And Draupadi's empathetic behavior, we can pray to Krishna that even if I don't have empathy, at least I should learn sympathy. At least. Let us begin with sympathy and go to empathy eventually. Empathy is a far more advanced thing. Like in Bhagavad Gita, you will find one word, Sarva Bhutatma Bhutatma. That means empathetic soul. A soul who is empathic, who is a paradukha dukhi, is called as Sarva Bhutatma Bhutatma. There is one verse, tell you. Vishayah Kshina Kalmasha Chinnadvaida Yatatmanah Lavante Brahma Nirvanam Vishayah Kshina Kalmasha Chinnadvaida Yatatmanah Sarva Bhuta Hite Rataha. He's saying those Vaishnavas who become more and more pure-hearted and sinless, they can actually do the greatest good for all the living beings. Sarva Bhuta Hite Rataha. They can do Sarva Bhuta Hit, they can think about. They will not envy anybody, they will not hate anybody. So that is our goal also. Okay, then second question, what 6 factors did Draupadi consider in forgiving a murderer of her children? There are 6 factors Draupadi said. Who knows? All the 6, anybody knows? Or at least 3? Yes, Mataji. Mataji knows. Give the mic to her. There is only one verse in which all the 6 factors are mentioned. Yeah.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Krishna.
She is saying that we have to grateful to Dronacharya as he has
Yeah, correct. That is a dharmyam. He is your guru. He has given you archery education. How can you kill his son? So dharmyam.
and,
And
we have to thankful to him. So one more point is we have to be merciful to Krupi. We have to be thankful to Krupi, as she has also going through. As I am also going through same kind of a pain. She's not supposed to go such a kind of pain. She was empathetic towards Krupi.
Correct. That is karunam.
And they are also coming from a respectable family. We are not supposed to give.
That is mahat. Yeah. They're coming from a respectable family. They should not curse us. Brahmana kulam should not curse the Kshatriya kulam. Yeah.
Putra Soka. She is saying that I'm going through Putra Soka. She is not. She at least she shouldn't go through that kind of pain.
Correct.
And
so anything else? That is okay. And then she's asking, is it justice that you received training from your guru and then your son you are killing? Is it nyayam? She's asking. Dharmyam, nyayam, nirjalikam, samam, sakarunam, mahat. These are the 6 reasons. She told almost 4 of them, she said. And dharmyam means, see, dharma entails that you don't kill a brahmana. Brahmahatya is very dangerous. Nyayam means you have taken training from guru, don't kill his son. It is not nyaya, it's anyaya, she's saying. Sakarunam means Kripi will become a widow who is alone, no son, no husband. And I can understand, only a woman can understand the heart of another woman. So you should forgive. So that is Sakarunam. And then Nirjalikam means while executing one dharma, don't break another dharma. Udaharan, I'll give you an example. See, people in our own temple, like all of you, you are called internal customers. See, for me, you all are internal customers. Similarly, for you, your own mentors in your group and your service providers and also the devotees who are working hard with you in your Bhakti team. They are like your internal customers. And external customers are new people who are coming as guests to the temple. Oftentimes, we show more affection to whom? Newcomers or to the older devotees? Huh? Newcomers. Now we will speak to them very sweetly, give them sweet. Sweet also we give, speak also sweetly, both. Both sweet to them. And we take good care of them. And the goal is what? So that they can come inside in the inner fold. They come, correct? No? But when it comes to inside customers, we oftentimes chastise them, correct them. You should not do this, you should not do that. And they also get hurt many times. So, I heard one interesting meaning of the word chastise. Chastise means make a person chaste. Chastise. That means we want inside circle devotees to become chaste to Krishna and Guru. And when they deviate a little bit, we scold. That means we can purify them to come to the right path. But oftentimes the one who is getting chastisement cannot understand. So therefore, even while dealing with our inside customers also, I'll tell you one example. It will make it clear for you. In one of our centers, the senior devotee told the inmate, he told the boy, see, 4 new boys have come for the morning program. Morning program for them to get up is a big thing. So now they attended Mangalarti, Narsingharati, everything. So yesterday night we had a big program and Gulab Jamun was remaining. And half a bucket Gulab Jamun was there. So give them 4 Gulab Jamuns. In Vati, let the new boys eat. If they eat Gulab Jamun, Prabhupada said a ISKCON bullet. If they eat Gulab Jamuns, they will regularly come. So the senior boy said, yes, Prabhuji, I will do that. So the devotee went, the brahmachari went. So next day when brahmachari came, he asked them, so what did the boys talk? He said, Prabhu, they asked this question, they asked that question, I answered all the questions. And then he asked this, so how did they like the Gulab Jamuns? He asked. He said, Prabhuji, that I forgot to give them. I was talking to them, we talked 1 hour. Then it became late for the college. So they went away, he said. And the senior became very angry. He said, what a foolish thing. Prabhupada, the early days, fed prasadam to people and made them serious. If you simply talk philosophy to them, how are they going to become serious? I think you wanted to reserve Gulab Jamun for yourself, so you didn't give. Like that he said. And this devotee was shattered. He started crying loudly. Prabhuji, why did you say like this? Do you think I am a Gulab Jamun eater? I am very strict in my sweet eating. I don't take more than 2 Gulab Jamuns. Am I going to eat half a bucket? He started crying. So then the senior told him, no, Prabhu, I told you to give. I reminded you, still you didn't give. Therefore, I was upset with you, he said. But this boy said, no, Prabhu, now I cannot work under you. I am going to another place. Now I cannot even see your face. I feel that you have lost trust in me and you don't have, appreciation for me, and I also feel disconnected from you by your behavior. Senior said, no, I just said one thing. Why are you taking it more so seriously? So later on, this senior devotee came to me. I told him, see, outside customers are important, but internal customers are also important. Both are important. How you say, what you say matters. I told him that you used sarcasm. Sarcastic remark pierces the heart more deeply than a general remark. In case he told him that, see, you are so forgetful, Prabhu. At least now you take Gulab Jamun, go to the hostel room and meet them and give them. If he told like that, that would have been better. Instead, he said, I think you wanted to hold it for yourself. Saying that made the devotee get hurt. So therefore, this is the meaning of Nirvyalika means what? The senior told one thing correctly, that the outside customer should be served well. But in the course of telling that, he hurt the inside customer. He's doing one dharma right and he's breaking another dharma. You understand? No? So therefore, we have to take care of both. That's what she said. You want to kill Ashwatthama because he is a murderer, but while doing that, you are hurting his father, who is a Brahmana and who is a teacher. So one dharma is happening, another dharma is broken. That's Nirvalikam, she said. So dharmam, nyayam, nirvalikam, sakarunam, and mahat. Mahat also she said that. What's one more thing? Dharmam, nyayam, uh, nirvalikam, karunam, mahat. There's one more thing. Totally 6 things she says. Huh? Aparadha will happen, that is Mahat actually. Because great personalities like Dronacharya come from great families. We should not do aparadha to them. So, in this way, she considered many factors which were also appreciated by Yudhishthira Maharaj also. Which means, from Draupadi we learn one important thing. Don't make snap decisions. Don't make snap decisions. If any sensitive issue is coming in an email, you should refuse to reply. You should say that, Prabhuji, I am coming to temple on Sunday, we will meet and let us discuss personally. You can reply to a mail, but this is what you should reply. The reply should be that, yes, Prabhu, I understood, I read it, I understood your concern. And then some people, what they do, they write a mail and put 24 names of devotees. And they send out a very, very electrified information. Some very dangerous information, very offensive information. We should never reply. Because generally then you want to reply because you know the right thing. Then you reply and another person comments, he comments, and the mail becomes bigger and bigger. I have seen these things with my eyes in ISKCON happening. The mail was 1 page, now it is like 8 pages. Everybody is giving clarification and nobody is able to arrive at a conclusion. That is because in email, many times emotions are missed and you are not seeing the face of the person, you don't know the background. It can be very dangerous in mails. So, generally, email is pretty impersonal and it is not very good to. Email is good for communication purposes, but for clarifying some allergic things and attention-giving things, we should meet personally, sit with the person. When you sit with the person, you become more sympathetic, understanding why some decision was made in a certain situation rather than an email. So, in this way, one should not make snap decision. Don't make. Actually, Arjuna told her, I will cut off his head and bring. But Draupadi did not want his head, Ashwatthama's head, because she very deeply thought and came up with the 6 points, she said, which Yudhishthira Maharaj also appreciated. Third question, what is the ideal way we should see others for us to relate well with others? Anybody? Anybody who hasn't answered? What is the ideal way we should see others if you want to relate well with others? Yes. Srinivas Atipriya Prabhu. Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. So maybe we can try to put ourselves in others' position.
Correct, like
And then,
empathetically.
empathetically. And then maybe we'll feel what they are going through. And then we can relate well.
Exactly. That's the best thing to do. Whenever we have a problem with some ex-devotee, we always hold on to our own feelings only. And we just want to get that ex-devotee and pour out our heart and say that you said this, you did this, you spoiled this. Because of that, I am very unhappy. That means who is the center? I is the center. And we fail to see the another angle with which that devotee is speaking. Because we become like covered. We are in a bubble where we are the center. The other person is not taken into account. So what we can do is, okay, I have one angle of view understanding. Let me hear from him, see what understanding he gives. Maybe when I hear that, I may get a total picture. Why he said what he said. That's a very good point. Like one devotee, one manager made one announcement. So then one young devotee went and told that to managers, yes, to senior manager. He went and told. And the senior manager said something in opposition to the decision made. Then this young devotee came back to the manager and said, Prabhuji, that senior manager said, you are a fool. He said. Imagine. See, manager is saying something, senior manager is here. He said something, this young one. He went and told this to senior manager, and then he heard it and came and said, "You are a fool." Now, what should the manager do? You know what he did? He called the senior manager. I heard, Prabhuji, that you are upset with me for this decision I made. No, you called me a fool. So one devotee came and told me, so I want to come and meet you and learn from you whether I should have made alternative decision instead of this one. Then the senior leader said, Prabhu, I didn't call you a fool. I said the decision was foolish. It was a, what do you call it? Short-sighted decision. He said it was a short-sighted and foolish decision which is made hurriedly. We should not jump into the decision. We should call all the devotees, consult, and then make decision like that. I said, how many of you feel there is a difference between saying short-sighted, foolish decision on one hand and calling someone a fool? There is a difference between the two. How many of you feel? Big difference, no? Because if you tell this manager it was a short-sighted, foolish decision, he may not take it as seriously as when you label him as a fool. No, label him as fool. So therefore, this young devotee is just going here, going there. We should not take him seriously. We should directly connect. But that doesn't happen in ISKCON. Then what this person will tell him? He called me a fool, but that senior manager is a bigger fool. Like that he will say. And then he goes and tells him. Then he goes and tells him, it goes like this, back and forth. Then finally what happens? The distance between this manager and senior manager, what happens? It reduces or increased? It widens. Because of miscommunication. That is why it is said, the ideal way we should see others is to see from another's angle also, which Draupadi is teaching us. Don't see from your own perception, see from others' perception also. She's seeing from Kripi's perception. She's seeing from Dronacharya's perception. She's seeing from the well-being of her husbands, Pandavas. I should not, if I want the head of this fellow, because of that Brahma Shap comes upon my husbands, then the whole family will be ruined. So she's thinking from longevity of the family. So she is not only selfishly thinking, I want to take revenge, I don't care about anything. It's not like that. She's seeing from others' perspective. That's the Draupadi. Yeah, that's all.
Disconnect the problem.
Mm.
So, some kind of voice. Same time, you have to disconnect the person from the problem.
Correct.
How do we see?
I'll tell you how. Say, for example, I am a doctor, a child specialist, and the mother is bringing a child. Now I have to give injection to the child because child is having typhoid. Now, from the other person's perspective, child's perspective, does he like injection? He doesn't like. From mother's perspective, she wants the child to take injection or not? She wants to take. From a doctor's perspective, myself, what is the right thing for me to do? To give injection or to show sympathy to child and not give injection? So I should see all the perspective. I see my perspective, child's perspective, mother's perspective. And I can answer each of this perspective. I assure the mother that, don't worry, I have a smart way of giving injection to children. And I will take care. You just have to hold your child firmly. You don't go away, you be here. Hold the hand. Then I will give some chocolates to the child. He's having chocolates, enjoying it. And I just take the injection, immediately give it. In a very quick, in just half a minute. When child starts crying, you say, hey, don't cry. You sing some song or something and finish off the business. So now in this case, I took child's perspective, but I didn't care about it. Because child's perspective is a limited perspective. He doesn't know what is long-term good for him. Right now? And the doctor's and mother's perspective is good for everybody. So then, therefore, you should, if I don't know child's perspective, then I will not give him chocolates. And I will not make him feel comfortable. I may just tell the child, say, your mother wants you to take injections, so I'm giving you. Come here. I'll give you like that. Child will say, Hare, what a cruel person, he will say. So therefore, we have to take everybody's perspective also. Accordingly, then we can attend to that. Is clear? Yeah.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. I was contemplating about this nature of Draupadi, and we see on the contrary the nature of Gandhari. So she also had lost her son,
Correct.
but in a religious war, in a proper manner, they were all been killed.
She cursed.
But she could not withhold what happened to her. As a mother, she was chaste to her husband as well, and she was very good in all respects. But she could not exhibit the nature which Draupadi exhibited.
Exactly. It's the opposite character. Not only now, even before when Yudhishthir was born, she became very envious. She said, why, Kunti got her son first and not me? So she said, what is the use of this boon that Vyasadeva gave me? Like that, she just bit her womb. At that time, a lump of flesh came out, And then Vedvyas heard the news and he came immediately and said, hey, I promised you, you will get 100 sons. You should have been a little patient. Then he arranged for the lump of flesh to be cut into 100 pieces and put in 100 pots with ghee. And then he brought the 100 Kauravas. So the Kauravas are born of envy. Therefore, they all became filled with envy also. That means twice she had envy. One during their birth, and after all the 100 sons were destroyed, she caused the Yadu dynasty to be destroyed. So we can see that from that point of view, unhealthy comparison and envy, Gandhar is a failure in that. She is not very big-hearted like Draupadi. From the point of view of chastity to husband, blindfolding herself, for that she is glorified. Karna similarly is glorified as a Danavir, for giving charity to people. That's a very great quality in him. Once I heard that one Brahman came and asked for firewood from Karna. At that time, it was a rainy season. All the firewood behind the backyard of the houses were all drenched in water. So, but he wanted a dry firewood. So he took the Brahman to one mandap in his palace and he broke the mandap and took the beam and he arranged for beam to be cut with one bullock cart full of load of dry firewood, nicely wrapped with a cover so that water won't go. And he gave it to Brahman. So Brahman glorified. He went and told Duryodhan, see, even you cannot give charity like him, Because Duryodhan said, what can I do? I don't have, he said. But Karna never says no. He said, but Karna is great in charity. At the same time, you find when it came to choosing between Krishna and Duryodhana, he chose Duryodhana. So in association, he is weak-minded. So in this way, in Mahabharata, we find certain personalities having one strength and another weakness, like that we find. Good point. Yeah. So are we a product of conditioning and conditions or our choice? As per one.
So when we find that a person has some weakness and also some good things, like how, what should be our disposition toward that person? How we should dispose toward that person?
We should see the brighter side of that person, whatever is strength, whatever is good in that person. And we should not unnecessarily tamper with his weakness. Correct, no? See, some people are very careless in money handling. If you tell them they will not put the money in the right time, they will not give proper hisab kitab. Can we make them in charge for accounts? If you are going for yatra, they will mishap, they will do a lot of mishap. But they may be, very good in singing kirtan. So you tell them, Prabhu, you sing kirtan. Whatever a person is good at, engage him. Whatever his weakness, make note and don't give him those engagements. Actually, we need to know the weakness, not to ridicule him, but while giving engagements, you can avoid giving engagements. Basically, for larger good. Everybody. Here is a very important thing coming up here. Just like he was telling about Gandhari's conditioning of envy. So we also may have some conditionings. You all understand what is conditioning? Conditionings means the mental conditionings like somebody is lusty, somebody is angry, somebody is greedy, somebody is proud, somebody is envious. These are called conditionings. Misgivings in the mind. Also conditionings include, like for example, forming perceptions or comfort zone, staying in comfort zone, or a person who is negatively driven. He always sees the negative side of people first. These are conditionings in our mind. And conditions means, for example, say the climate is one condition. Some people in a rainy climate, they cannot do much work. They become very moody. Sky is very cloudy, they also become moody. Some people. Huh? That means they are affected by the conditions around. Huh? Similarly, if a boss scolded a subordinate, one full day he will not do any work because he's affected by the external conditions like that. So now we are going to see two types of behavior. One is called as default behavior, another one is designed behavior. Huh? Like, for example, from the morning you wake up every day, the night you go to bed. Do you design your day or you are dragged by the time to do different things in the day? You understand the difference? Huh? Designing your day means choice. Like today you decided, I'll come for this state program, then this one, then afternoon this one, then evening this one. Some people are able to design the day, the week, the month, the year, and they very carefully utilize time like spending money. They spend like that. Other people who are just dragged by time here, there, different places like that. They don't have any freedom. Huh? They're dragged by the modes. Sometimes they'll go for entertainment. Sometimes they'll have long wounded phone calls. Sometimes they will sleep 3 hours in the day. That means they are driven by the modes, conditionings, or conditions. Okay, now let us read it. Please read it below. Take the mic. Where's the mic with you? Yeah. Mic.
After it, we can examine our paradigms to determine.
You can keep it like this.
We can examine our paradigms to determine whether they are reality or principle based, or if they are a function of conditioning and conditions. Genetic.
Like we all form paradigms. What's the meaning of paradigm? Paradigm means outlook in life. See, certain outlooks we have are based on reality or principle based, and certain outlook we have are based on conditions and conditionings, which is a wrong paradigm. Huh? Right paradigm means based on reality. Wrong paradigm means based on conditioning. I'll tell you what it is after you read this. Read it.
Genetic determinism, justifying our behavior received from one's grandparents.
Like saying that, say, my grandfather was always angry, so I am also angry. Somebody may say that, yeah, yes.
Psychic determinism, blaming parents' upbringing and your childhood experience.
Yeah, some devotees say that, see, Prabhu, I'm not serious in devotional service because you got good sanskar in your family, which I didn't get any sanskar. So therefore, I am what I am. Some people say like that. Yeah.
Environmental determinism, blaming the boss, spouse, neighbor, economic situation, etc.
People can blame everybody except oneself, isn't it? Yeah.
Animals act by instinct. Example, Pavlov's experiments with dogs.
Yeah, Pavlov, one scientist said, if a dog is fed with food every day at 8 o'clock in the morning, at 8 o'clock you ring the bell, ding, ding. Immediately saliva will secrete in the dog's tongue. So he did that experiment. Similarly, based on certain condition that we have developed, we have certain instincts, we call it. Like some people have a tendency to lose temper and become angry in certain situations. Similarly, some people tend to make unhealthy comparison and become critical and fault-finding. So these are all conditions which keep on coming again and again. In a given condition, their conditionings come out. As soon as some very famous devotee's name you take, then they will find some fault immediately because they have to pull the leg. That is their conditioning. So that is called as Pavlov dog's experiment. But one amazing thing with human psychology is, even if you had a conditioning, you can modify it. You can change it. Animals cannot change it. That's why animals and human beings are like a car and aeroplane. Both of them run in the runway, but aeroplane can take off. Whereas the car can never take off. Car will always go on the road. So animals live out their entire life with same conditionings. They cannot change. But human beings can change. Like Mrigari, he's going like this, but at certain point he's taking off. You will see. A cruel Mrigari became compassionate Mrigari. A crying Arjuna became confident Arjuna. A arrogant Rahugana became humble Rahugana. You see that. So that means there is a change of heart possible in a human. That is the beauty of human form of life, that you can actually change your paradigm by cultivating maturity, which comes from reading the Srimad Bhagavatam and chanting the holy name, association of devotees. Actually, we say some of us might have had a bad association before, but you can come from bad association to good association and then completely change your paradigm. Example is Ajamila. He had a prostitutes association for begetting 10 children, bad association. From that, he came into Vishnudutas association. And the next 12 years were glorious, holy years, which took him back to Godhead. So here is an example of how our Ajamil changed his paradigm. Earlier was sinful paradigm. Now he had a virtuous paradigm. That kind of change is possible. So, yeah, read the second line. Yeah, humans.
Humans can choose the response based on Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. Example, Bali Maharaj,
It's a Haridas Thakur.
Pandavas.
Yeah. So you can see that how Bali Maharaj, what was Bali Maharaj's limitation and how did he come out of limitation? Who can say? What was his limitation? Bali Maharaj's limitation. There anybody else who hasn't spoken? Anybody else? What was his limitation and conditioning, and how did he rise above it? Anybody? Okay, if no one answers, yes, Prabhuji. Okay.
Prabhuji, he was following his guru, and his guru was not on the righteous path.
Okay.
He was not. So that was his conditioning, and
His conditioning was not only that his guru ill-advised him, his conditioning was that he was born in what family?
okay, Asura family.
So his demoniac family is condition in which he was. And his guru gave him wrong conditioning because he was giving a wrong paradigm. His birth was condition. That means demoniac family is a condition. And his guru gave a wrong teaching, which is wrong conditioning he was giving, ill conditioning. And then how did he come out of it? Who can say? How did he not adopt these two condition and conditioning? He behaved in a different way. Yes, Prabhu.
He decided that offering to the Lord is higher than listening to the Guru.
How did he arrive at that decision? Suddenly, how he got that new paradigm? Vimal Prabhu knows. Yes. You said correct. He decided to surrender to Lord and he surrendered to Lord also. Yes, Prabhu.
Actually, Prahlad Maharaj actually, instructs him actually.
How Prahlad instructed him? Because he approached Prahlad Maharaj.
Yes.
Actually, he said, his father was Virochan. Virochan's father is Prahlad. So he said, my grandfather, he surrendered to Supreme Lord and he became glorious. And he walked the right path. Now the same Supreme Lord has come in my life. So I will follow in the grandfather's footsteps, he said. And then by following in Prahlad's footsteps, he became a pure devotee. And then he did Atma Nivedanam. And his name got added in the 12 Mahajans. So he became very glorious like that. So he didn't adopt the paradigm of his great-grandfather, Hiranyakashipu. He didn't follow that. Nor did he adopt the condition coming from demoniac family. Nor did he accept the Guru's ill advice. So he threw away all those things out of the window. And he accepted only his grandfather's paradigm. Which means all of us also can choose our role model. Whom do we want to follow? So this is the role model I want to follow. And that other wrong role model I don't want to follow. So we have choice. So then how do we follow the role model? The more we hear, the more we associate, the more we apply in our personal lives. And more we see the world with that Shastra Chakshu that we have got from someone whom we adore. Then we change the paradigm. This is actually the method of changing paradigm. Like myself, many times I had wrong paradigm, but when I met my spiritual master, he will give a different paradigm, with more higher paradigm, more noble and more compassionate paradigm he will give. Then I would make a strenuous effort to take the baby steps and come to this, and then try to see from that paradigm. And I've done it time and time again several times. And over a period of time, practice of years, things will change for us. Gradually, a change in paradigm will come. That's true.
So how Bali Maharaj got to know about Prahlad Maharaj? Because
No, that is very in the
somebody might have
lineage.
inspired him. or
No,
how
actually, in
was
the family, you will see in the king's family, all the pictures and their activities, their achievements, everything will be put up. It's a lineage, yeah, lineage. And there are also even books written on the king's activities. The glorifications are there. We have the Sutta Magada Vandinaha. They would have done it. Even he has heard. And Prahlad also has a eternal existence. So not only he remembered him, he can even approach him. It's possible, yeah. Later on, Prahlad comes also. When Lord Vamana comes, he comes to bless Bali also. So now you can do this activity. What is this? 118, first canto, 18 chapter, Parikshit. You know, it's only 4 verses. You can read it in your folio, Veda base if you want. Huh? Write 2 lessons you learned from the verses. Because 118:15 is about Sutta Goswami and 10:38, 124 is Akrura's Manorath, entering Vrindavan. Huh? That one. So 2 lessons you learned from 15 to 18 of the 18th chapter. Daushkulyamadim vidunoti shigram, all that will come there. You want to see it? See here. Tanno bhavan vai bhagavat pradhano mahatamaikanta parayanasya hare rudaram charitam vishuddham shushrushatam no vitanotu vidvan. Somebody can read the translation?
Hare Krishna. O Suta Goswami, you are a learned and pure devotee of Lord. Because the personality of Godhead is your chief object of service. Therefore, please describe to us the pastimes of the Lord, which are above all material conception, for we are anxious to receive such messages.
Yeah, that is the next one. Savai Mahabhagavata Parikshit
Savai Mahabhagavata Parikshit
Yena Pavargakyamada Buddhihi
Yenapavagakyamabhadra buddhi
Jnanena Vaiyasaki Shabditena
Jnanena Vaiyasaki Sabditena
Veje Kaghendra Dvajapadamulam.
Veje Kagendra Dvajapadamulam.
Yeah.
O Suta Goswami, please describe those topics of the Lord by which Maharaj Parikshit, whose intelligence was fixed on liberation, attained the lotus feet of the Lord, who is the shelter of the Garuda, the king of birds. Those topics were vibrated by the son of Vyasa, Srila Sukadeva.
Yeah. Tanna param punyamasambritartham
Tannaham param punyamasamvrutartam
Akhyanamathyadbhuta yoganishtham
Akyanamatyadbhuta yoganishtam
Akhyahyananta charitopapannam
Akyadyananta charitopapannam
Parikshitam bhagavatabhiramam.
Parikshitam bhagavatabhiraman.
Yeah.
Thus, please narrate to us the narrations of the unlimited, for they are purifying and supreme. They were spoken to Maharaj Parikshit, and they are very dear to the pure devotees, being full of bhakti yoga.
Now, this is the 18th verse. Suta uvacha
Suta uvacha
Aho vayam janma bhritodhyahasma
Aho vayam janma prutodhyahasma
Vriddhanuvrityapi viloma jataha
Vriddhanuvrityapi viloma jata
Daushkulyamadhim vidhunoti shighram
Daushkulyamadhim vidhanoti shighram
Mahattamanam abhidana yoga.
Mahattamanam abhidhana yogaha.
Yeah.
Sri Suta Goswami said, O God, although we are born in a mixed caste, we are still promoted in birthright simply by serving and following the great souls who are advanced in knowledge. Even by conversing with such great souls, one can without delay cleanse oneself of all disqualifications resulting from a lower birth.
He's saying that I am born in a Pratiloma family, impure family. Still, I got the shelter of a great spiritual master, Shukadeva Goswami, by whose mercy I was purified and made eligible to speak on the Bhagavatam now to all of you, like that he's saying. Kuta punargranato namatasya
Punargranato nama tasya
mahattamaikanta parayanasya
Mahattamaikanta parayanasya
yonanta shaktir bhagavan ananto
Yonanta Shaktir Bhagavan Ananto
mahadgunatvad yamanantamahu.
Mahadgunatvad Yamanantamahu.
Now you'll glorify the holy name. Now you glorify the Guru, now you'll glorify the holy name now. Yes.
And what to speak of those who are under the direction of the great devotees, chanting the holy name of the unlimited, who has unlimited potency, the personality of Godhead, unlimited in potency and transcendental by attributes, is called Ananta, the unlimited.
So the Lord and the holy name is glorifying both. Etavadalam nanusuchitena
Etavatalam nanusuchitena
gunaira samyana tishayanasya
Gunaira samyana tishayanasya
Hitvetaran prartayato vibhutir
Hitvetaran prartayato vibhutir
Yasyangrirenum jushatena bhipsoho
Yasyangrirenum jushatena bipsuho.
Yeah.
It is now ascertained that He, the personality of Godhead, is unlimited and there is none equal to Him. Consequently, no one can speak of Him adequately. Great demigods cannot obtain the favor of the goddess of fortune even by prayers, but this very goddess renders service unto the Lord, although He is unwilling to have such service.
Yeah, that means even for Lakshmi, he is difficult to obtain. And many demigods want his shelter. It's very rare to get the Lord's shelter, he is saying. Atapi yatpadanakhavasrishtam
Atapi yatpadanakava prishtam
Jagat pirincho pakhritarhanambah
Jagat virincho pahruta
Kesham punatyanyatamo mukunda
Jesham punatyanyato
Ko
mukunda
namaloke bhagavat padartah.
Ko namaloke bhagavat pradhartah. Who can be worthy of the name of Supreme Lord but the personality of Godhead Sri Krishna? Brahmaji collected the water emanating from the nails of his feet in order to award it to Lord Shiva as a worshipful welcome. This very water, the Ganges, is purifying the whole universe, including Lord Shiva.
Yatra anurakta sahasaiva dhira
Tranurakta sahasaiva dhira
Yapohya deha dishu sangamudham
Yapoha deha dishu sangam
Vrajanti tat paramahamsyamantyam
Vrajanti tat paramahamsyamantyam
Yasmin nahim sopashama swadharmaha
Yasmin ham himsopashamaha swadharmaha. Self-controlled persons who are attached to the Supreme Lord, Sri Krishna, can all of a sudden give up the world of material attachment, including the gross body and subtle mind, and go away to attain the highest perfection of the renounced order of life, in which non-violence and renunciation are consequent.
That means easily people give up material attachment with taking shelter of that Supreme Lord, saying. And then he will tell this now. Aham gi prishtoryamano bhavadbhe
Aham hi prishtoryamano bhavadbhe
Achaksha atma vagamotrayavan
Achaksha atma vagagomo atrayavan
Navapatantyatma samam patatrinas
Navapatantyatma shamam patatrinas
Tatha samam vishnu gatim vipaschitah.
Tata samam vishnu gatim vipastitah.
So he is saying, Navapatanti atma samam patatrinas. Like the birds fly in the sky, he will use the example. Read this.
O Rishis, who are as powerfully pure as the sun, I shall try to describe to you the transcendental pastimes of Vishnu as far as my knowledge allows. As the birds fly in the sky as far as their capacity allows, so do the learned devotees describe the Lord as far as their realization allows.
See? So, from these verses, what all did you hear Sutta Goswami doing? Who all he glorified?
Guru.
He glorified Guru Shukadeva Goswami. Then he glorified the holy name. Then he glorified the personality of Godhead. Then he is glorifying Shaunaka rishis, calling them as rishis who are as powerfully pure as the sun. He is glorifying them also. And about himself, what is he saying?
Bird.
Two things he said. Daushkulyamadim vidunoti shigram. I was born in a Dushkulam. But by taking shelter of Shukadeva Goswami, he washed away my impurity coming from the birth, my condition coming in the family lineage. And he made me qualified to speak this Bhagavatam to all of you. Otherwise, in and of myself, I am not qualified. He has put me here to speak, like that he is saying. That's one verse. And in this verse, he is saying, as far as my intelligence, knowledge allows, I'll speak. Just like different birds can fly. Sparrow can fly this much, crow can fly this much, eagle can fly very high. I am not a great soul, but whatever I know, I will share with all of you. So from that, what do you learn about his attitude?
Humility.
Humble. Very humble. That means he is self-deprecating. He is talking himself to be inferior and everybody else to be superior. So that is the mood of our Sutta Goswami. That's the point here. Actually, it is written 15 to 18. We read up to 15 to 21. So one lesson is that he is humble. Another lesson? Any other lesson you learn from this? Yes, please give the mic.
He was grateful to the holy name,
Yes.
grateful to the Supreme Lord,
Correct.
and grateful to the Guru, and also grateful to the audience
Yes.
who are available in service.
Exactly. Very true. Thank you. One more lesson. Anybody else? One more important lesson in connection to this seminar is, let us see, there are two hands up. Yeah.
Yes, we are getting encouragement. Like even low-born family, all these are
Exactly.
not
That means
considered.
even though he is low-born, that's a condition. That condition is not limiting him from becoming a great soul in speaking Bhagavatam. That was the main one. Applause for him. And that is the lesson in relation to the topic in hand. Yes, he is humble, he is grateful, plus Prabhu said, and many other good qualities we see in him. But the most important thing is, nobody can blame the conditions. He can get out of condition. This is a proof. You had another point? Same point. Correct, yeah. Correct point. Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, here.
He was also appreciating good in others, like the rishis who were there. He was comparing with the sun,
Yeah.
pure as
Correct.
sun. So he was appreciating.
Yeah,
Appreciate.
correct. You are appreciative of the audience. Similarly, you find Prem Kirtan Prabhu, our Madan Kumar Prabhu, Prem Kirtan Prabhu, he is from Aurangabad, correct, Prabhu? Aurangabad, right. But your family members came from north to south, is it? You, Gujarat? Yeah. So he may not have Telugu as his mother tongue. Madan Kumar Prabhu is from Odisha. But they didn't blame the conditions with which they were born. And they're preaching in a place where another language is very prevalent. Correct, no? See, if you have a language knowledge, it is a feather on your cap, additional advantage if you know it. But if you don't know it, you can't say, Prabhuji, I can't preach in this place because it's a Telugu Desh. It's a Telangana. Can we say that? Because our life may take us to such a place. See, I am born in Tamil Nadu, but I was put in Pune. Everybody speaks Marathi there. So if I say that, because here everybody is speaking Marathi, I don't think I can preach here. Can you say that? You cannot say that. So therefore, don't blame the conditions and don't blame the conditionings. In any situation, you want to take shelter of Lord and devotees in holy name, this paradigm shift can be brought about.
And also one more point we could see, Prabhu, in this section, that verse which is beginning with the 15th verse.
Yeah.
So there, the qualification of the teacher and the subject to be discussed and the audience eagerness. Tanno bhavan vai bhagavat
Correct.
pradhano.
That's true. Yeah.
So not only the speaker is qualified here in this case, even the audience were also very
They are
enthusiastic.
Shushrushatam. They are very eager to hear, and the speaker is Bhagavat Pradhan. And Lord Hari is Udaram, magnanimous, correct? He is saying that if the audience is enthusiastic, then the teacher also is empowered more. Empowered more. So, Actually, Lord manifests in any association where there's a sincere audience. Audience is sincere, speaker is sincere, and the subject matter is spiritual. Then Lord can very powerfully manifest and enter the hearts of the people involved in that discussion, and then purify their hearts and uplift them and elevate their consciousness. You can do that. Thank you. So now I'm going to stop here and say one another thing. There is a second thing, Srimad Bhagavatam 10.38, which is Akrur Manorath. About that we will talk in the next class. When we continue it. Page number 6, I think. This is page 6. So, somebody can remember and remind me next time. Page 6. Yeah, I can note it down, Prabhu.